Next up is for Pete. How do you check the coping and shell of an in-ground pool that has been partially washed out?
Well, normally what we do is right off the bat we'll set up a transit and shoot all the elevations just to see if we had any movement that we're not seeing right off the bat. Usually one of the other things we'll do is we'll pressure test the plumbing probably first thing, because if you got anything that's washed out, the odds are the plumbing's either hanging or it's snapped off, especially if it's on that side. We normally would do just a visual inspection of the shell just to see if there's any hollow spots, if there's any cracks that we see, any separations between the coping, the deck, the tile. And then if it is to that point, we would get a structural engineer. In our state, we pretty much have to rely on structural engineers to tell us what the fix is. They don't consider us qualified to go in and do some of these type fixes. So then it's a matter of hiring a structural engineer to get a plan of what the attack point's going to be on the structure. And if it's just washed out, you know, we would normally just fill it in lifts and compact it and put the soils back in and rebuild the area.
Rick, you have a comment on that?
Yeah, a quick way to check coping and tile is I just use a little wooden ruler and I lay down on my belly and I just measure the distance from the tile down to the water. And our industry standard says we can be out by as much as a half an inch. So if it's more than a half an inch out, I tell the homeowner that there's a potential that the pool has moved and that we need to do some more investigation. Very simple test. The other is the crowbar test that I learned from Ron Locker, which is you go around and tap every piece of coping and tile with a crowbar, not too hard. And when I find one that sounds real hollow, I take the crowbar and I literally try to, not real hard, try to move that coping and see if it jiggles at all. And it's pretty easy to identify the ones, real simple, you know, doesn't take a degree or anything, but you do need knee pads.
Okay. All right, moving along.